Could an Astartes soldier from the Warhammer 40k universe survive or even escape the Foundation in the event of a containment breach in the SCP universe? Well, in this video I will examine the Astartes soldiers' capabilities to see if they can survive an SCP Containment Breach. From being taken to then having their memory wiped and later implanted with new, better memories, better suited to make their minds perfect for war. This battalion of space-roided giants are at almost every moment outfacing legions of Tyranids and dozens of other creatures of many different types. And though there are several human factions, each with different specialties and strengths, the Astartes have placed themselves in the 40k universe as a notable force in many wars that humanity is subject to fight in order to survive. So, what can a normal Astartes soldier do? Well, to begin, let's see what they can do in combat. For their movement speed, they can easily run about as fast as a car while lugging around their heavy armor, which provides ample protection and style. Their agility, although minutely impacted by their power armor, is surprisingly great for such huge fellows. For strength, an Astartes soldier, without the armor, can easily throw around weight that would take a modern-day machine to lift and move around. The armor has its own power supply, which further aids in providing the Astartes more support and power for their body. For endurance, an Astartes' will is absolute, being able to take fatal blows and still push on. These powerful soldiers will not back down until you land the finishing blow. And for their durability, their armor is finely tuned to best protect against the many variables in battle. The armor is also shaped in a way that can best deflect any kinetic attacks thrown at it. The armor can also protect the Marines from any environmental hazards, including space. When looking at how the Astartes go about enforcing the will of the Emperor, they usually use a myriad of both melee and long-range options. For melee, they have standard-looking weapons, along with chainsaw-themed blades, and a whole bunch more. For guns, they have their small sidearms, along with bigger automatic and semi-automatic guns ranging from normal bullet guns, plasma, and along with many more. And they have their heavy weaponry, which are guns outfitted with heavier ammo, a lot stronger, and because of the heavy ammo, it makes the guns a lot bigger. And then there's the more special weaponry like flamers and many different types of grenades. In order to know how strong all of their weaponry is, we need to first try and see what real-life weaponry could be similar to the capabilities of their lesser weaponry. A normal small bolter is described as firing a .75 cal bolt round, which is similar to those shot from guns mounted on vehicles or ones that are fired in a fixed position, like this one. If we just take normal bullet measurements and typical kinetic energy of normal heavy weaponry, then this would make the sidearms of the Astartes similar to the most powerful guns that people can shoot. This is Warhammer, so there may be some other variable to further power up their guns and bullets. And then you have their bigger guns, something like the heavy bolter, which is not their hugest gun, but it's definitely heavy, let's just say that. And unless you got a thick wall of steel on top of another thick wall of steel, which then has a tank inside of it, then you won't just get destroyed, but evaporated from existence. Then their melee is seen to cleave through foes that their guns can easily penetrate through. So imagine a small hydraulic press wielding a knife that can run around hunting Tyranids and other creepy creatures from the 40k universe. Now let's move on to the actual containment breach and what would happen. But first, I have to state that in the SCP part, just know that there's no official canon for anything SCP. So I will base all of the situations and capabilities of these SCPs on their original documents of the anomalies as well as some of the tales written about them. So, can a normal Astartes soldier survive a containment breach specifically from the game SCP Containment Breach? Because there's not that many SCPs in the game, and if we were to just take a normal site and say there's a containment breach, the video would either be too long or too rushed. And in order to keep things nice and organized, I would just put a little small explanation as well as a note of some of their abilities on screen so you can read through it. So now on to the hypothetical situation of an Astartes in the SCP Foundation during a containment breach.
Is that the bite of
SCP-096?
In an unexplained SCP containment site, an unexpected series of events happens, and for some odd and bizarre reason, there's an Astartes soldier fully equipped minding his business in the facility. In seconds, several loud gunshots and screams are heard until a deafening silence fills the atmosphere. And now the Astartes is all alone, and he gets a call that he is needed elsewhere to fight Tyranids. So now he has to get out. This shouldn't be too difficult, right? I mean, the Astartes pummeled some info out of the SCP researchers and some MTF agents, so he can know more about the anomalies, because he got a little bit curious. At first, he encounters SCP-173, the statue. This statue here is able to snap necks, so much so that it's not so much a feat but rather a rule. Upon seeing it, he immediately goes,
out of my way. got you.
and tries to destroy it with his fist. This was way easier than expected. Still having an inventory full of ammunition, the Astartes moves on to try and escape. Then he encounters two mind-controlling SCPs, first of which is SCP-035, a mask with great mind-controlling capabilities that then has its wearer put it on and carry out its devious and malevolent tasks. After a little while, the body will then corrode, rot, and just get destroyed by the viscous black sludge that comes out of the mask. This mask, on top of an NTF agent, will notice the giant space-roided behemoth. The mask wants to get his body, and at first the Astartes starts to fall under the influence of the mask, but then he remembers the Galactic War and snaps out of it and fells the mask's host. Then he goes near SCP-012, a piece of paper with written text that is incomplete, and when people go near this paper, they start to want to complete it with their own blood, and they usually fail and die because, blood loss. The Astartes is suddenly drawn to wanting to complete this paper, and after a few failed attempts, he then snaps out of the mind control and shoots the anomalous paper.
Dark mask and paper. No one can distract me from my divine purpose.
Leaving it like Swiss cheese. Then when leaving the room, SCP-049, the Plague Doctor, sees him. This is no ordinary Plague Doctor, a seemingly immortal and very durable, weird fellow that is on the never-ending journey to try and cure a unknown plague that I don't even think he knows what it is. This doctor, seeing that the Astartes has the plague, he wants to cure him out of the kindness of his heart. He goes to touch him to death with his death touch, but it ultimately fails because no direct skin-to-skin contact was made.
How blind are you to not see that you're the one with the plague, heretical doctor?
After many encounters with many other SCPs that left annoying illusions and feelings that bother the Astartes, he takes some SCP-500 to rid himself of any anomalous ailments. Then he hears the voices of his brothers and goes to investigate.
Brothers! A victory or death!
There he sees two instances of SCP-939, which are giant red flesh dogs that can copy anybody's voice. Pretty dangerous, but apart from being pretty massive, they're not that strong. After making quick work of SCP-939 in all of its instances, quiet wails of SCP-096, the Shy Guy, are heard.
The Shy Guy. Damn it.
He knows that upon seeing specifically the face of this entity, it will go into a blind rage, an unstoppable and just absolutely crazy tweak session that will then bring him to try and rip apart anybody who dared see his face. Now, this Shy Guy is a problem because his skeleton is completely indestructible, and any soft tissue damage is almost instantly regenerated. So once you see its face, there is no stopping it, even if you're an SRD soldier. So the Astartes avoids a being which in one tale was able to pull the sun casualty because somebody saw its face. Then thunderous roars of SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile, are heard. This is a nigh immortal being that is really hard to kill, and every time it gets damaged or is put in a weird spot, it evolves to counter whatever is troubling it, to such an extent that there is practically no limit to what it can evolve and counter. The Astartes hurries through the facility, running past many other SCPs and ignoring them. He then finds the exit, but unfortunately for him, he accidentally saw SCP-096 after running past the room which had the SCP. Then frantic screams and destruction is heard. He turns to fight, calling off the pickup so that the others won't be killed by the Shy Guy.
This is it for me, brothers.
He can't afford to have the others see SCP-096. After putting up a really good fight against SCP-096, he ultimately dies. Because unless you're able to outmuscle this thing or get away from it, then it's gonna win. But what if the Astartes never saw SCP-096? Well, he would be confronted by SCP-682. This fight would not go very well, but let's just say he had reinforcements, and even an experienced and much stronger Astartes to help him fight. Well, the fight would go on for a little bit, with the Astartes having more than enough firepower to even incapacitate the lizard for a few moments. But then afterward, the lizard will keep evolving and they will start to see that everything they throw at it is not working. Then they will try to escape. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe for more random content pertaining to hypothetical situations or matchups. Don't forget to leave a like. Special thanks to Providence VA for the Astartes voice lines. Link in the description if you want to commission this voice actor. And now that I've paid him an exposure, let me set up a little challenge for all of you that actually stuck around to this very end of the video. A video idea comment with the most likes will get its own video. So put them down in the comment section down below. See ya.